Welcome to Kokomo and 3Wide's Triple Crown. It's round 2 of 3, and tonight we're at Kokomo. This is a quarter mile. It's tiny, and it's about half the size of Eldora where we were last week. But last week we saw Matt Grunberg do real well, but we're going to shake it up tonight, go to a much smaller racetrack, and that's certainly going to change how these guys race here tonight. Yeah, definitely. So this track is really, I was doing a few laps in it earlier just to get some cameras done with this track, but yeah, it's really tough to drive this place compared to Eldora. Eldora is a lot more traditional, I guess, dirt, but this place is weird the way it's designed. There's a little bit more banking. I guess you could say this place is progressively banked towards the wall, and that's not even including the cushion, but you can see visually there, you see we're riding on board with 22 feet of short. The car starts to go in the air, and with the cushion too, it's even amplified. And of course, the graphically, this is a beautiful track. It's one of the newest within iRacing service, and tonight we'll go dirt racing. And last week was a pretty short race. It was about a half an hour, if I recall correctly, and the guy that won was the 54, Matt Grunberg. Hasn't had the speed in practice thus far, but Peter Short right now sitting second in qualifying, and we're working our way towards the end of that now with 3 minutes remaining. Paul Ross up to 4th. Levi Zielinski out on track now. He was the quickest in practice earlier, and that Sharpie number 97, little Kurt Busch throwback there on board the 97 Camaro here this week. Yeah, Grunberg with the win last week is leading the points championship. Kyle Hanshaw behind him in second, as well as Johnny Thomas. They're both tied for second, so close towards the front. Well, here's a guy that would never be a bad idea to pick at a dirt track. Kyle Hanshaw, and then number 46 Camaro was incredible last week at Eldora, but ended up ultimately finishing 4th. He got kind of bullied out of the lead last week. I don't think he's going to take any prisoners this time, though. Watch out for that 46 to be coming forward. Levi Zielinski jumps up to 4th on the board right now. Matt Grunberg just about to leave the pit lane area and go out for his qualifying effort, kind of waiting to the end here to see what everyone else is laying down for times. Yeah, that's probably what he's doing there. And there he goes, starts to roll onto the track. And race very clean last week. His car finished with no dents on it, which is pretty hard to do at Eldora. That's a half-mile track, but here tonight, or not a half, yeah, half-mile track. And tonight we're at a quarter mile. It's half the size of that, Finian. A lot more bumping and banging. You see Grunberg already hits the wall. He's going to have to go back and try that again. But this place is certainly tricky. And it's, you mentioned how tiny it is, Vinny. This is just, you don't get wound up here. Average speeds are down in the 60s and 70s miles an hour. Not a very fast racetrack. Yeah, definitely not. You see Grunberg up against the wall. Getting the speed up there. Well, it works, I suppose. Oh, hit the wall already. It's going to invalidate. This is. I think he's just. I don't think he's trying at this point. He might start from the rear, which would be entertaining to say the least. But again, look at how beautiful it is. So he's going to pull it in. Probably go out for one more time. Still has one more lap. On board now with Kyle Hanshaw up to 7th. I just love that sunlight and glare. And if you're not familiar with iRacing, on Tuesday we'll have the new build, the Season 1 for 2019, introducing day to night transitions and dynamic clouds and all that fun stuff. So it's exciting coming up here on SimTV, and I think I'll release all my thumbnails for the week on Tuesday so I can use all the new fun features for the thumbnails for the rest of the week. Yeah, definitely probably one of the most anticipated builds in a while. The day-to-night transition, that's a big, not big, it's a huge feature to the sim that we haven't had. Everything till now has been static, including what you're seeing on screen now, other than the track temperature changing and other factors on the track. Dirt. But, dirt is part of their dynamic surface model, which is a huge big deal. I still think this is incredible what iRacing has done here with the whole dirt racing and everything, but we're about to take it up a notch with the day-to-night transitions. Yeah, there are some minor weather effects, but nothing. If the race starts clear, it's going to be clear. If it starts cloudy, it's going to be cloudy the entire time, but now weather conditions are going to change over time. Not too drastically, really. It's more just with cloud cover and humidity and those kind of factors, and potentially rain in the future. Well, the biggest thing for me that's going to throw me off is that you can't use the shadows as braking markers anymore. Yeah, so I saw someone post that, and I'm like, oh yeah, I didn't. Well, like Spa, never thought of that. Yeah. Breaking into the bus stop at Spa, that's going to be really, really hard to work on. Anyway, Tate Lytle and Peter Short will be on the front row for tonight's Triple Crown event here at Kokomo. Remember, last week we were at Eldora, and the 54 Grunberg was the quickest car there. And Grunberg, speaking of Grunberg there, he didn't put a time down, so he's going to be starting all the way back in 12th, so he's going to have some work to do to get to the front of this field. A little bit of work to do. Let's take a look at our starting lineup here for tonight. On the front, whoop, we missed the starting lineup there. We'll let that cycle through. Anyway, we mentioned our front row already, but David Wilson in 3rd, Levi Zielinski in 4th, and the number 97. Paul Ross in 5th, and Drew Eisenman in the 77 will be starting in 6th. And moving on back to row number 4, we got... It'll get there.
There we go. Kyle Hanshaw in the 46. He's going to be starting on the inside and outside of him. Johnny Thomas in the 83 was really fast last week and is going to hope for a little bit better this week.
Yeah, and Richard Hines and Corey Lindsay starting in row number 5. Hines in the 87 on the inside lane. Corey Lindsay in the 00 on the outside in 10th.
Starting in 11th will be Chad Brown on the inside and outside. Matt Grunberg, again, going to have to work through some traffic here to get to the front. Going to be starting in 12th.
He did it last week. Can he do it again? Jordan McKeevoy in the 21, 13th. Kevin Jadrosich in the number 42, going to be 14th. And Jadrosich coming off of a hardline race a couple days ago. It went okay for him in that number 42. So
we're missing someone.
Yeah, it's okay. Don't worry. It's fine.
So I think we're missing, was it Hanshaw? Not Hanshaw. I don't know.
The last row didn't work out, but maybe try it again.
Nope.
It's not like the front row here tonight for some reason.
Not.
But...
I think McKeevoy is the one we're missing.
Oh, right, the 21 car. No, McKeevoy was called out. He was next to Corey Lindsay, I believe, in number...
No, he is not. He's behind. You'll see him right there. Oh, there's someone behind him. I don't know anymore. This is not working out. Oh, Sam Close behind him.
Well, Kokomo's timing and scoring is a whole lot of fun here tonight, for sure. But anyway, let's head back up to the front, and we mentioned the 56 of Tate Lytle. I don't remember him being here last week at Eldora, so I don't think he's scored as... Yeah, so this is his first start in the Triple Crown as we get the 1 to green here at Kokomo. So that 56 car will be starting up front alongside Peter Short, the number 22, who finished 3rd, I believe, last week. So that number 22 car going to be quick as well, but...
Pace truck's in already, and these guys got a whole turn to work with. So when does Tate Lytle go? He's going to turn in deep here and go, I think.
Green flag in the air at Kokomo. We're racing for 80 laps tonight. And we're green. The 56 clears Peter Short. But Short's going to try to stick the nose up. Caution out already. We got one spun around. It's David Wilson in the... Nope.
There we go.
Jordan McKeevoy in the 21.
Or maybe...
Chad Brown.
Yeah, so sorry for us. Our scoring's having a...
Yeah, well, the first lap of scoring is always confusing, but it was Chad Brown indeed. But here we go. Let's take a look. The first lap of scoring generally takes a second to get itself sorted out, but there's a 64. Gets into the side of the...
Oh, Grunberg.
Yeah, some net code there between those two.
And that was enough to trigger the yellow, so these guys will get it back double file up, and we'll go green shortly.
And now that the timing and scoring is all sorted out, we can show you what the situation is, but these cautions are not going to take very long here tonight, Finian.
These guys should be coming to 1 green probably next time by, almost.
It'll be really hard to get put out of this race as well. Going only 80 miles an hour, you're going to have a tough time crashing yourself out of this one.
Yeah, definitely. So there you see 1 to green, and Lytle taking the outside lane.
No brainer there. I think that's a typical way you want to go here. Some cars that are trapped behind the pace car with the way things got sorted out. They're going to get the wave around here. So
and all caution got extended.
Yeah, well, this is just what happens here, Finian, on these quarter-mile racetracks. I mean, it's hard for iRacing scoring to get this right. It's hard for our scoring to get it right. I mean, the laps only take, 15, 12 seconds, so it really throws off everything from the pace truck to the caution sequence and everything. So caution extended once again.
I was going to say, because these guys pace around here really fast and also drive.
You say fast, I mean, they're going 40 miles an hour, but they only really do 60 through the corner. So let's, relatively fast. 2/3 of race pace. There we'll get the 1 to green. I think we'll be ready to go this time through.
Yeah, so it takes a while to catch back up to the pace truck and get extended once again. They're still trying to sort themselves out back there. They just caught the end of the field right now.
Yeah,
so
you can see the confusion back here as McKeevoy and Sam Close and Chad Brown try to get themselves lined up.
Yeah, notably did when NASCAR did at Phoenix.
Yeah.
So I think we should get the green next time by.
Oh, and if you're watching here tonight, tomorrow we go open wheel racing at Watkins Glen International for the second round of the IndyCar Triple Crown. So be with us 9:40 p.m. Eastern Time as the pace truck pulls off once again. And it looks like this time we'll be going green, and Tate Lytle chooses the outside lane. I like that move, Finian. It's going to be caution got extended once more.
Yeah, still see some guys single file out back, so not entirely sure what's going on.
And the pace truck is going to be... This is certainly not going very well for...
Yeah, this is... I think coming... Because it came out right as they went green. And I think iRacing might be having a fit.
Now we have a 1 to green. See the cushion built up there against the outside wall. Very tall cushion there, Finney. You do not want to get over that. You'll get sucked straight into the fence. Green flag in the air, I guess. Here we go at Kokomo.
You see Lytle take a strong lead already. Peter Short falling behind as Wilson is, and we're already single file.
Levi Zielinski to the inside, trying to get around Drew Eisenman in the 77. And Zielinski loose. He was out of the race last week at Eldora. Contact there with the 18 of Paul Ross. Drama behind him, Chad Brown getting into it with Sam Close in the number 5 car.
And notably, Paul Ross driving the inside. You see Zielinski sideways in the back. He's going to keep it straight. Well, going to lose a lot of time. But you see Paul Ross, one of the only drivers I'm seeing using that inside, other than now Handshot driving down low.
Yeah, this is absolute chaos. These cars do not handle very well here, Finney. We're only going 40, 50 miles an hour in the corners. Very slow pace race. Already in lap 11 here, Finney, and we're clicking off the laps extremely fast. 15-second lap times. It's like a race at Bristol almost. But side by side, Zielinski working that inside groove with some damage to the nose of that car. Meanwhile, out up front, it looks like it's Tate Lytle and Peter Short nose to tail. We don't even get relatives here. This lap is so short.
Yeah, that's really unfortunate, and caution is out again.
This is the same scenario that we had at Eldora. Eldora was the same, or actually no, Lima Land was the same way, where the timing and scoring did not like to show relatives because the lap was so short. It was the 97 of Zielinski that went around. We'll get a better look at it here. It's Corey Lindsay in the 00. He slides up in front of Corey, and there's nowhere for Corey to go, and spins around the 97.
Yeah, and again, these guys go really slow in the corners, especially if you're trying to get the back end to hang out. You're sliding at an extremely slow speed, considering how tight this track is, and these cars do not like that at all.
Levi Zielinski goes a lap down here early, and this is going about as well as Eldora went for him last week, so hopefully going to try to turn it around and get his lap back here. There will be plenty more cautions, I'm sure, as we get ready to go restarting here again. So the cautions literally only take 35 seconds.
Yeah, tough to catch our breaths here. They're that quickly. You see everyone getting quickly double filed up, getting each other stacked up.
Coming back to the green flag. Tate Lytle on the outside. Peter Short on the inside. Green flag flies, and they're off again. Drew Eisenman up to third now in that 77. On the outside lane, David Wilson trying to get that spot away from him as the 77 gets into the fence.
Yeah, he's got into the almost riding the wall, but he's going to keep it off. He's going to take third. They're going to be 3 wide there for 4th place. And you see Ross again on the inside, but he seems to be losing some ground.
A little bit chaotic back here, Finian. Handshaw through the middle.
And there you see all the different lines.
I mean, I don't know if there's lines, distinct lines at all. It's just chaos here. Look from up above, you can see all the... There's no lines. It's just everyone going for every ounce of grip. And the track is pretty well worn in, Finian, so that up against the fence is not... It would be quicker, but the track is so short and so wide that the inside groove is a hell of a lot shorter. See Lytle pulling away from Peter Short, but behind them, absolute chaos.
Five of close. He's sideways, gonna keep it going straight. No caution gonna come out.
Working lap 20 right now. Johnny Thomas up to 6th, trying to improve the positions for that Johnny Thomas Racing number 83. See the 18 of Paul Ross working on the outside. David Wilson's loose in front of him. And look who's up to 4th.
Yeah, I was just gonna say Grunberg up to 4th, trying to get 3rd away from Eisenman. He's gonna work to his outside. It's really hard to work this outside lane, especially out of 4. It gets very tight. You got to back off, and there you see up ahead, Short and Lytle fighting for the lead.
Yeah, Short has tracked down Tate Lytle. The question is, does he have anything to do with them? See, Short really using that cushion, turns way down to the bottom and just powers off the corner. Great line by the 22, but it's going to be not quite enough to get to the 56 just yet.
This is an interesting thing to look at him take that line, because by the time he gets to the wall, he's already in turn 1. The way he's driving it. Let's watch again there. You see he's all the way to the tires, and then as he comes back up, he's going to be still the inside of Lytle. Does he have enough power, though, to get it around?
It's not going to be enough this time, Finian, but Tate Lytle will continue to lead as behind them, they continue to battle. There's the 18 of Paul Ross now up to 4th. Grunberg to 3rd now.
Yeah, it's interesting the way this track is shaped. It's almost like Chicagoland, where the back stretch is curved a little bit. So it kind of...
I mean, it's basically just a circle, if you look from high above here. And it is just a little blender for race cars. You see the 22 and the 56 in the bottom left there, heading across the start-finish line into turn 1, nose to tail. David Wilson really dropping spots in that 39 car on the bottom, trying to make speed down there. Just can't do it. Meanwhile, up front, Tate Lytle trying to run away from the 22. Can't even see him in the rear view. There he is.
And there he pops in the screen there, and he's gonna... Oh, he's actually gonna ride the outside here.
Oh.
Looks like he's gonna try something new.
56 got in the fence a little bit, jumped the cushion, got the right rear into the wall, but Peter Short trying to do something with him on the bottom.
Yeah, I think Short's that line's a little bit better in 3 and 4, not so much 1 and 2. So I think that's why he's trying to ride the wall in 1 and 2.
The 46 of Kyle Hanshaw, this race is not going great for that 46 car yet. Has yet to make a whole lot of progress. Started 7th, running 8th right now, and stuck between David Wilson and Jordan McKeevoy. Was that one spun there? Sam Close was real slow. Looks like we'll be all right. Levi Zielinski off the racetrack, out of the race here, Finian.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for the 97. Had a great we're doing pretty good, and then just the tides are not doing his favor. And there you see Short now. Oh, was going to get to his inside.
Oh, contact with the 64 of Chad Brown, but caution's out again. Oh, and I believe that was the 5 of Sam Close. Nope, it was the 42 of Kevin Giadricic that has gone around. What a chaotic little race we got going on here, Finia. To the inside of, I believe that's the 87 Richard Hines, just gets loose underneath them, and the 5 of Sam Close finishes him off and sends him around for a loop. But caution out here in lap number 30.
Yeah, and just gets out of the way from the leaders. Yeah, another caution, and right now it's just amazing how fast this race is taking off. We're almost halfway through already.
Yeah, it's certainly going by very quickly, but we mentioned, Finian, it's very chaotic up here in the booth for us to keep an eye on all this, but also chaotic for the drivers. But Matt Grunberg has, again, shown his prowess here on all kinds of racetracks and has moved his way up into the 3rd spot. However, he'll be on the inside group for the restart.
Yeah, he'll be on the inside, and clearly the outside is more favorable, as Lytle's going to take that. And you can see how much they bank on that last lane towards the wall, and how much more advantageous that is compared to the bottom, which is flat.
Out of turn 4, green flag flies again. Tate Lytle jumps out and tries to get away from Peter Short. The 18 car, Paul Ross, taking advantage of that one spun.
Yeah.
Jordan McKeevoy, whoa, hangs onto it. He'll keep it on the racetrack just barely.
Hits a cone. Gonna try to get it straight, but meanwhile up towards the front there you see Short losing a lot of ground, as well as Grunberg.
Well, here comes Johnny Thomas in the 83 up to 3rd spot.
Yeah, so Grunberg in 1 lap's fallen all the way back to 6th from 3rd. And you see Thomas and Paul Ross trying to make some ground on the top side.
Yeah, Drew Eisenman now in the 77. He's been kind of flirting with gaining some spots here, but hasn't quite managed to do it just yet. You see the 22 of Peter Short has lost some ground up ahead. The 83 of Johnny Thomas trying to work over the rear bumper of Paul Ross. Look at them all slamming into the wall. They're jumping the cushion here, Finney. These cars are too heavy to use that cushion, really. So they just get up on it, they slide over it and get into the fence.
Yeah, these things are, honestly, these cars are probably one of the worst dirt cars to...
Oh, these things handle like tractors.
Yeah, handling,
awful.
yeah. They don't have enough torque to get the rear end around, and you end up just going straight into the corner. That's why you're seeing these guys struggling so much, and they're really just not designed for a place as tight as this. But there you see Short trying to get to the inside of Johnny Thomas, wasn't able to make the path work.
Johnny Thomas gets into the fence. Peter Short jumps on the binders to stop. There was almost contact between the two. Chad Brown off the racetrack. Kyle Hanshaw 3 laps down on the track, but he's lost some significant ground. Peter Short tried the inside lane, couldn't do anything with it. Drew Eisenman will drive around the outside, then take 4th away.
Yeah, they just lost a spot to Eisenman. Now he's got to fight off Grunberg behind him.
Grunberg again dropped 3 spots on the initial restart.
Oh, and Grunberg going to power it around the outside.
Yeah. There you go. That's the line to make it work, but you see how much the 22 gained there. The track's still got a lot of grip in the bottom, and I think the 54 needs that bottom groove to go away before he can do too much with it. Meanwhile, out front, Tate Lytle, Paul Ross separated by a couple car lengths. Ross not really eating into that lead a whole lot, but behind him, battle for 3rd as the caution flies once again. It's Chad Brown in turn 4. Actually got turned from some lead lap cars here. The 83 of Johnny Thomas, the 77 Eisenman, they get by, but Peter Short in the 12.
Eisenman hit the wall very hard.
Oh, he came across the racetrack and doored the 64, so it wasn't anything Chad Brown did wrong. Right on board here with the 64. See how slow they're going around here, Finian.
So Eisenman comes up there. He hit the wall hard, and I think that might have upset his car and turned him down into Chad Brown.
Halfway point in this race, Finian, lap number 41. Chad Brown off in pit lane as we look back up front. Tate Lytle's been in command of this race since the drop of the green flag here, Finney. No one's been able to take it away. Passing looks difficult without taking yourself out.
Yeah, and I think just with that the restarts he's getting, it's just enough to keep him ahead of these guys. And by the time the run gets on to a point where they can catch up, it's just not enough at that point. So, yeah, I think just these short runs are really playing into Lytle's favor.
Paul Ross going to be second on the inside groove, but Drew Eisenman will be in the catbird seat right behind the 56 car. We'll see if that brightly colored 77 can get himself up in there with the Eisen Designs Camaro. Green flag flies again. Tate Lytle jumps out, tries to get away. Behind them, chaos as they drive up into turn 1.
You see Eisenman all the way up on the wall, almost hitting Johnny Thomas. He's going to fall in behind. There you see Ross trying to keep it to the inside and short, also losing a lot of time.
Grunberg sideways in front of the 42 of Jadrsic. Wasn't he spun out a couple laps ago? He's made a great comeback in that 42 car.
Yeah, he has indeed.
Well, the 18 goes around in front of the field. Caution's going to fly again. Paul Ross will go from third to last.
Yeah, let's see if we can get a replay of what happened there.
He just got tagged by the 54 car here, Fane, but we'll take another look. Or maybe was it the 77? Oh, all by himself? He just got finished off by the 77.
And again, it's a fine line for driving these things sideways. You either put too little input and you go straight, or you put too much and you go spinning around. So, tough break for Ross. He's going to drop all the way back to 11th. And everyone's still chasing the 56 of Lytle.
Well, the 42 of Jadrsic has made up a lot of ground since his spin. Has rebounded here and is going to be running P5 at the moment, so that 42 car looking pretty good. And look who's back up to the front now. Matt Grunberg in the 54 up to 4th.
And yeah, Key on the outside too, so that's going to play into his favor.
1 to green already. We'll be restarting lap number 47 with 48, excuse me. Coming to 34 laps to go. 33 laps to go. Pace truck will pull off and leave Tate Lytle in control once again. Johnny Thomas on the inside now. He'll be the one to go backwards here. If he doesn't get a good restart, off goes the 56. Battle for second now between the 54 and the 83 out of turn 4.
You see these guys bumping and banging back there.
Jadrsic on the inside of the 5 of Sam. Close contact. The 42 is going to spin again.
And, right in front of Paul Ross. That's going to bring out a caution. I'm sure Ross is not going to be happy with that.
Well, Ross's car is going to be significantly damaged. Here's a good thing, though. That doesn't matter.
Yeah.
The arrow here, absolutely not important at all. But very quick caution after a restart here. We'll ride on board at the 18 of Paul Ross. You can see the 42 gets into it with the 5, bounces off, spins down the racetrack, and Paul Ross nowhere to go.
Yeah, nowhere to go, because I can imagine he didn't see any of that happen until the 42 came in front of him.
Well, he throttled up to try to get by it, Finian, and just couldn't get there before the 42 came down the racetrack. So as quick as Jadrsic's night was turned back around, he's got left side damage and was going to pull off. Oh, thought he was going to pull off to the pit area, but he'll stay on the racetrack for now. Tate Lytle still in command of this race. Johnny Thomas was able to hold on to second. Grunberg now in third. I'm sure he's a little bit upset that he has to start on the inside once again. Yeah,
it all was lining up for him. The stars are aligning for the 54, and then now again it's not, but it is going to be aligning for the 22 Peter Short. He's going to be restarting on the outside.
All right, well, 1 to green here again, and Peter Short is going to be in the catbird seat right behind the 56 of Tate Lytle, and we got 30 laps to go. Going to be 29 on the restart. The 56 in control once again. Through turns 3 and 4. Green flag back in the air. 29 laps to go. Tate Lytle gets a great jump. The rest of them fan out behind him, trying to gather some spots.
Oh, and Short didn't get a good restart at all, and this is going to allow Grunberg to try to get the position.
Johnny Thomas was able to take advantage of it, move himself up into second, or spinning behind him. That's the 39, or not 39, it's the...
30, yeah, I think that is the 39.
Is that David Wilson?
No, it is not.
Who was that? I don't even know what that car was. They spun out, and we're back racing again. No caution this time. Sam Close has moved his way up into 4th. Haven't talked about... Oh, the 22, Peter Short going to spin around. Can he save it and keep himself going straight off in the grass? Going to dirt track it back on and try to gather up some positions. Drew Eisenman also loses a bunch in that ordeal. And the whole field...
Wow, Ross.
Paul Ross up onto the side.
That was... I forgot where that was, but you know what I'm talking about, that YouTube video. That dirt car on the fence right there.
Yeah, yeah.
That was exactly that.
So Paul Ross gets up on the fence. He'll pull it off. I think he'll call it a night there. Tate Lytle out up front now. By a couple car lengths, caution flies again, this time for not Jadrsic, Hanshaw maybe?
Paul, no. I have no clue.
It's so hard to tell because they just spin out and they're gone.
Yeah, actually, let's go to replay. Yeah, I was going to say rewind it from that point of view.
It might have been, oh, it was the bright yellow car. That's Peter Short.
Yeah, look at Corey Lindsay also, yeah. It looks like Peter Short and Corey Lindsay.
All right, let's get a look. 18 and Ross pulls off. Peter Short, does he get into the rear of the 00? Yeah, but they both spin here. The 22 goes all the way around. The 00 manages to collect himself and carry... Oh, well, he spins out there on pit entry. So a couple of disagreements out there on the racetrack now. And we're winding down the laps here. Not a whole lot of room on the racetrack to be given. And drivers are making it difficult on themselves tonight. This is certainly a big challenge here. These big, heavy cars at a quarter mile.
Yeah, this is made more. This track's more for sprint cars than anything else, really. These things are just too big and have too little power to work.
Yep. Green flag is going to fly once again. Tate Lytle on the outside. Drew Eisenman behind him as well. Caution immediately again.
Yeah, they weren't bunched up there for the restart. There was a little bit of a gap, so caution's going to be out there again just to get them bunched up together. And I'm amazed by the 77 of Drew Eisenman. I didn't really think he had much pace, but has been up here in the top 5 for most of the second half of this race.
All right, I think we're going green this time through. We'll try again here. Tate Lytle on the outside with Eisenman, as you mentioned it. Going to be right behind him. Green flag flies, and the 56 jumps out again. Eisenman trying to take advantage of it, but can't quite do it. Can Grunberg pull the slide job for third? He does!
He does. He's going to ride a little bit of the wall, but that's okay. He's going to keep on trucking, and he's going to try to chase down the 83. And Johnny Thomas giving the 56 a Lytle a boot. He's going to work to the outside.
If he can get to the outside of Lytle, this is race over here. Johnny Thomas didn't do it that time, though. He's going to have to try again.
And you can see how much ground he's making up on corner entry compared to Lytle, but Lytle's powering off on exit.
And Lytle's been the dominant car tonight. 20 laps to go now. Under 5 minutes of racing left. The 54, Grunberg sideways behind him. Corey Lindsay out of control through turn 4. 3 wide back here. That'll be for 5th.
Yeah, there you see the 87 of Richard Hines moving himself up to 5th place. He was the one, I believe, that spun that we couldn't catch. So he's doing a fantastic job recovering back into 5th. And Lytle's going to continue on. It looks like Thomas is losing some time to him.
Trying to get grip anywhere they can get it. Finian, 4 minutes and 30 seconds of racing left. 18 laps to go. Riding the cushion around the outside. Getting that good mid-corner speed, but that inside lane still has lots of grip in it.
Yeah, it's really hard to power off from these things, and I think that's where the 83 Thomas is lacking. That he's not able to get as much power off as the 56 is.
And Grunberg behind is putting on a valiant effort to get to the 83's rear bumper, powering drift sliding through 3 and 4, and the 77 of Eisenman coming behind as well. Peter Short trying to defend 5th place from Richard Hines in the 87. We'll jump back up to the front and see Tate Lytle continuing to expand his lead now with 3 to 4 car lengths over Johnny Thomas in that 83 car.
You see Grunberg still trying to use a bowl of racetrack to the wall, trying to catch the 83 of Thomas.
Yeah, Grunberg's wearing out that right side, trying to get to the rear bumper, but Eisenman's chasing him down here, Finney. That 77 car coming up to the front.
Yeah, again, slowly but surely that 77's working his way up the field. And oh, he's lost a little bit of ground here, and here comes Peter Short to his outside.
Peter Short will take advantage of it. Slingshot around the outside, move the 22 to 4th place. Back up front, Tate Lytle continues to lead. Johnny Thomas behind him. Now by 3 car lengths. He closed in a couple of times that last lap.
Yeah, really, I'm just kind of wondering where on earth was Tate Lytle last week. He's clearly got a yeah. He's got this. He's got this down pat. He led, I think, every single lap so far.
Yeah,
this race
without any threat really. The only one that even mounted a remote threat was the 83 of Thomas on the restart. But I think he's going to need another restart because the 56 of Lytle pulling away now as Grunberg runs in 3rd. Peter Short closing on the 54 for that spot right there.
You see Short trying to use the bottom, trying to use anything he can to get up to Grunberg, and wow, got really close that time by.
Ooh.
Decent lick with the wall there. Let's ride on board with Short.
To the inside. This is where the 54 will get the better run off the corner, but can Peter Short power off? Not quite enough.
Yeah, I think he's going to just go for the dooring maneuver, Peter Short, to get around Grunberg, because again, we're seeing how hard passing is here with these guys. And there you see him look low. He's going to have to try to power it.
Not going to be able to do it this time either. 54 gets a better run off the corner. 9 laps to go for Tate Lytle in the 56 car. Battle now for 3rd spot, and he slips. Here comes the 22, Peter Short. He'll take 3rd away. Grunberg back to 4th to the bottom. He's going to try to do what Peter Short just did on him, but here comes Richard Hines in the 87 around the outside. The 54. Problems for the 54.
Yeah, I think he's got something. Yeah, he's crabbing.
Oh, man. So damage to the 54. He was riding that wall trying to get every advantage he could, but has crippled that Jegs 54 car.
Yeah, he's going to pull it to the pit. So that's a big retirement there With the 54, Grunberg pulling it off the track, and here we got Lytle now in the lead by a huge margin now.
Yeah, it's just absolutely dominating this race here, Finian. Led every single lap. Johnny Thomas does not have anything for him. Peter Short a little ways behind. He's now moved up to the middle of the racetrack. Richard Hines to 4th, Corey Lindsay to 5th. Jordan McEvoy, the last car, running in 6th place right now with coming to 5 laps to go. Tate Lytle continues to lead here, Finian. He's just he looks perfect out there, holding a very pretty wheel.
He's got nothing to worry about right now for these next 6 laps. See him hit the wall there, but he's not going to give a care in the world right now. He's doing a fantastic job.
Coming up on some lap traffic up here, though. You got to be a little bit careful. You don't want to get yourself spun around. And it looks like Jordan McEvoy has retired that number 21 car as well. So coming to 3 laps to go. Tate Lytle now about a quarter of a lap of an advantage over that number 83 of Johnny Thomas. Peter Short behind, closing, but I don't think that 22's got enough time to get there.
No, he's not, unless he goes for the Hail Mary. That's going to be his only shot left in this race, but he's going to keep on pushing. He's going to try to do it until the end.
He wasn't present at Eldora last week at the half-mile race that the 54 Matt Grunberg won, but he's present here tonight. He's got to make it around one more time. He's led every single lap tonight, and in a dominating fashion, Tate Lytle comes out of turn 4, will collect the white flag in 15 seconds. He can give the trophy to Tate Lytle.
And just look at his car, not a single scratch on that car at all, which is very impressive here. A lot of the other guys are torn up.
Through turns 3 and 4, one final drift, one final slide for the 56 of Tate Lytle. Checkered flag flies. Absolute domination in the second round of the 3-wide Triple Crown. On the dirt side of things, Tate Lytle is your winner. Johnny Thomas will come home in 2nd place. Peter Short comes home just short again in 3rd. And Richard Hines 4th. Corey Lindsay going to be 5th. Kyle Hanshaw 6th. And the rest of the running order there on the left-hand side of your screen. But Tate Lytle, that was not even close. That was just absolute domination for the 56 team.
You see him trying to do some burnouts here. Almost
right onto the victory pad there.
Not okay. over the victory pad.
He's going to beach himself, and he has.
That's one way to go into victory lane.
He's good. He's free. But absolutely killed it out there to the 56 of Tate Lytle. It was a dominating performance. He didn't let anybody even get close. Even through all those cautions and all the restarts. Took that outside lane, dominated with it, and came home as a victorious driver here in the Dirt Triple Crown. We'll talk to him and a couple others in a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back live here to SimTV and Kokomo, and we're here with race winner Tate Lytle. Tate, you absolutely dominated that race, and from flag to flag through all the cautions and the white and the checkered, you came home as victorious winner. Where were you last week? It was absolutely domination out there tonight for you.
Thanksgiving break, and yeah, that was very unexpected. Didn't think I'd dominate like that, at least. But yeah, always fun to get a win. Only 5 cars in lead lap, so hopefully we get a little more participation next week.
Yeah, so you mentioned only 5 cars in lead lap, but it was kind of a blender out there of race cars. But Finney, where are we going next week? Do we have an idea? Knoxville. Okay, so Knoxville, a little bit bigger racetrack again. Very different style on how you drive the place. Do you think you have the speed there that you do here?
I did a hosted race earlier, and it wasn't good. So hopefully I can pick up something before then.
All right, Tate. Well, thanks for talking to us. Congrats on the victory. It was a nice one for you tonight.
Thanks, guys, for broadcasting it.
No problem. See you later. Next guy we're going to talk to will be the 83 of Johnny Thomas. And Johnny, another good race for you tonight. A little bit better than last week. You come home in second, and you got to be satisfied with that, huh?
Yeah, it's a good day. That's a tough track, man. It's unfortunate we couldn't really pass a lot. You're kind of riding on a thin line there because you don't want to hit the wall too much. You don't want to get penalized, and it's really tough to pass. But good second place and good points day. I see Gruenberg had some trouble and Kyle had some trouble. So and Peter, it's probably me and Peter right now, first and second in points. So it's gonna be a fun race next Sunday.
Yeah, you mentioned it being tricky to pass. We saw a couple of guys using that inside lane to make ground down there, but these cars, they don't have a lot of torque down low. So walk us through what you had to do to get around people here. Were you the guy that wanted to use the high side, or could you sling the low side if you tried?
Well, if you wanted to make a pass in 1 and 2, you definitely have to use the top. You'd have to get the nose on the right side of the guy and try to work your way around him on the 1 and 2 turns. Down in 3 and 4, you could pass on the bottom, but you couldn't really slingshot like you did at Eldora. So you kind of had to work that bottom all the way around, and hopefully that guy lost some momentum on the high.
All right, Johnny. Well, certainly another good finish for you tonight. Second place. We'll talk to you next week.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
No problem. Yeah, next we'll be talking to third place Peter Short. Peter, I know it was a little bit trials and tribulations out there tonight, comers and goers for sure, but podium finish again this week, and walk us through how tricky it was to pass out there tonight.
Yeah, I mean, I think you guys summed up my race, comers and goers and comers and goers. I felt like I'd work my way up and then fall back and then work my way back up again, and luckily it was working my way back up there at the end. The high line in 1 and 2 was pretty tricky to drive. You just kind of had to play with the throttle and see if you could find a little bit grip on corner exit. If you could find that grip, it would propel you down the front straight. I preferred the low line in 3 and 4. I could get a really good ride in there. I clipped the inside tire at one point. I think I got on 2 wheels for a brief moment, trying to find grip down there on the bottom, but it just turn 1 and 2, you couldn't find anything on the bottom. So it made it really tough to pass. Made a few moves tonight, made a few stick, able to come home P3. I felt like we had a really fast car tonight, so that's something to be proud of. And we have one more race, and hopefully we can get a good finish next week.
All right, Peter, thanks for talking to us, and we'll see you later.
All right, thanks, guys.
No problem. Next, we'll talk to the driver of the number 87, Richard. A P4 finish for you tonight. You got to be happy with that. It was a little bit chaotic out there, but a nice solid top 5 finish for you tonight. Walk us through it.
Yeah, it was a little rough at the first of the race. Last week I should have had this finish, but I couldn't keep off the wall. I bounced off and took me and another car out.
A little bit aggressive out there. What do you think about Knoxville next week? A little bit different of a racetrack in terms of its design. Longer straightaways, less corners. Very different. The first 2 tracks we've done so far are very circular. So how do you think that's going to change the racing for next week?
I think we'll have more of a two groove racetrack next week.
All right. Well, thanks for talking to us, Richard. It was certainly a pleasure talking to you. It's been a little while, but nice top 5 finish for you. We'll see you next week.
All right. Thanks, guys.
No problem. And with that will conclude interviews here tonight, Finney. And that was a wild one, to say the least.
Yeah.
Very slow in terms of the speeds out there, but very fast in terms of the race length. 80 laps done in the blink of an eye. Very wide racetrack. Not a lot of passing opportunity, though, these big, heavy street stocks.
Yeah, again, it's just due to just putting these cars on a track they weren't really meant for. Again, put on some really interesting racing from these guys. Just interesting dynamic. A lot of these guys up towards the wall, some down low, and guys trying every which way that they can to try to get the lead.
We'll be back next week with 3-Wide Triple Crown finale from Knoxville Raceway next week. So that'll be next Sunday night, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. And I should mention the next thing that'll be on Sunday nights after this will be the Scars. There's a Scars Stock Car Series. I don't even know what it's called officially.
I think that's just
Scars Stock Car Series. They're going to be running a they're running an 8-week season that we are broadcasting the final 5 races of. And their schedule is pretty exciting. It includes the Charlotte Roval, but we'll be at Richmond for not this next week, but the coming week after that. Then we'll be at the Roval. Then Chicago, Michigan, and Homestead. So that is what's coming up on Sundays the next couple weeks, and we'll see you tomorrow night with the 3-Wide Triple Crown for the Indy cars at Watkins Glen International. Thanks for watching.